Hey everybody, all you P Mashiachs out there, it's P Mashiach, your favorite P Mashiach coming to you from the northern country where the wind and snow and it's cold. Anyway, just sitting back, kicking back. Been studying the music industry a little bit lately. I've been working with the new AI music. So I'm like, all right, where's this all going? You know, I mean, what is it? Because it's oversaturated now. Music is just totally oversaturated, and it's not the dream it once was. You know, I mean, if you think about it, back in the day, what was becoming a musician all about? Being a little rock and roller in the garage or something. It was all about chicks and partying. That's it. If I wanted to be a rock star when I was a kid, if I even had an inkling like why I wanted to do something like that for the chicks in the party, that was it. You know, I mean, I picked up a guitar. Hey, maybe see what I could do with this. But what I learned, you know, is yeah, I didn't. I wasn't a bad songwriter. I wasn't a bad songwriter at all. I could play like shit. I could play worth shit. You know, the, I just had the chords down and maybe a little tap in a little lead for an intro or something. But I never really was any good at really playing guitar or any instrument. But I was good at lyrics. I was good at songwriting. And I mean, I look at it today, and to get my songs for anybody to play, like, hey, I have this song, and do you think you could play it? It was always like really hard, I mean, it was just terrible, to get anybody to play a song. So, I mean, I do have some recordings, to where I fiddled around with other guys, and we would see like what type of music we could come up with. And I have a couple little CDs or whatever. Hey, what's going on there, brother? Glad you stopped on by, Emmett. Yeah. Anyway, we're talking music, God music, if you want. Whatever. I usually talk God stuff, but tonight I'm talking music stuff because I just made this song today. You could go into my files if you want, and yeah, it kind of like really brought home, you know, what the music really needs today. And if you go to AI, all right, if you like, I've been working with the AI systems, and I love the music. The music is clear, it's mastered, it works well. You know, you have everything. You got countries, you got all type of genres. You could put on. So what I'm doing is just taking my poems, I, my past poems and my past songs, and I just been feeding them into AI and letting them do the work, putting the music to them. Because in the end, lyrics is what is where it's at now. If you know how to write a song, a good song, and you know how to work with words within that song to make it work, that's where it's going to work for you. But just being a guitar player or something anymore, that just, unless you're going to be very big or you just want to do it just so you're sitting around a campfire or whatnot. Hey, how you doing, Khalid? Thanks for stopping by. But if you just want to play a little bit of guitar, by the campfire or whatever, I mean, it would be cool, like to have it. And but musicians today, they're out of work. They're done. Like if you were thinking now that you're going to go from garage band to big, I think those days are totally over. That there is no returning to something like that unless you get 100 times more lucky than what you had to be. You're just not gonna. It was difficult in the days to make an album with the band. Believe me, I tried. Or I did it. One album. It was with Align Orion, Alignorion or whatever. And I was trying to learn the music business. I was trying to get my foot in the door, trying to, get this album made. I was in and out of recording studios with this band. And, all it took to like totally wipe out the process of getting this album done was, you know, just one dude that ruined it all. Had to get into a fight with the producer. When we were trying to get our songs recorded, I was helping to write the songs. I'm a pretty good lyrics. I'm good with lyrics. So after that, that was like my time to where I tried to make it big in music. We finally got the album done. It took us 3 years for what, 11 songs? Every turn we took in the music industry, man. Every turn you take, there's some type of shyster, trying to get you. It's going to save a lot of hassles for a lot of people anymore. Especially those people that are just good enough. That were just good enough to maybe get out a recording or something. But you're not going to do it anymore. Those days are over. It's just finished. Unless you're super duper good and you already have an in to the big power brokers in the music industry, you pretty much don't have a chance unless you play for some city concerto where those will come back. I'll guarantee it. I'll guarantee you, people will start going to the classical music shows. I just that's probably going to be one of your most something out of the way to where it's all people, playing the horns. You got to read the music. It would give you a sense of culture. But as for this is how I see the future of entertainment. I think within 10 years, maybe even sooner than that, you're going to have holograms. You're going to have holograms of bands. So whatever you're making on AI today, like with the music and stuff, you could just like have your hologram machine and you'll probably be able to like out of your hologram, you'll have like Mick Jagger, the Beatles, whoever, Rocky Road, Ozzy Osbourne, whoever. But they could do your songs out of your hologram for like a little show, who knows, in the corner of some bar or something. You just hit the button and you got holograms of people, singing your tunes. And you're making the money that way. But I do not see putting in so much effort to try to think you're going to make it in the music industry without it like being winning the lottery, the $1 million lottery. It's not going to be something you can unless you're getting royalties from a massive amount of music creation that you're doing off of AI. You're just not going to be able to do it. Put it this way: you get you want to do a song, okay? And you're a writer, you got a guitar, you sit down, you write out your song, you play your guitar, and you have a song, but that's going to take you a while, and then to get people to play on that and to get what you want and then to play it to people and all that stuff, that takes months, if not years. It's time consuming. It is Making music is very time consuming. That if you know how, this is where music is going to go. It's going to be owned by the lyrics, the guy that knows how to do lyrics, because he's got a full band in front of him. All he has to do is give them the words. That's it. You own the words. So what kind of story can you create? I mean, and that's what's going to happen. I just don't, for the guy that knows how to do lyrics, believe me, I'm blown away. I am blown away by what AI can do with my poetry. I'm just like, holy cow. And my old song lyrics. I could have never have imagined, just giving it to, just a few guys in a band and saying, hey, man, this is a good song. I wrote this. Why don't you play it? No. It just, now I just hit a couple buttons and boom. It's 50 times better than they could have ever given me for a recording. For lyrics, for somebody that's a lyricist like me, that's all I want. I just want a final product. I want a hard product. I want something that I have. I mean, poetry and music is, it's the best. That's what a song is. That's what a song is. Poetry and music is what makes a song. And for lyrics, if you know lyrics and you know how to work lyrics and you do have any type of air, you're the winner in this. If you know how to then take your music from the AI central point and then market it, but years of trying to create a song or months, that those days are done. It's over. What was it? 3 days ago, I did 8 songs in a day. And for me, I could listen to them all. I could sit back and listen to those all day long. I was like, it's not like you got some shitty musician that you got to listen to. So who is music going to be owned by? Music is going to be owned by people that know how to write music, that know how to write the words, that know how to give you a story with music and make that song, which it has always pretty much been. But now it's just more so. But the whole thing is the market is so oversaturated. You have such an oversaturation of songs. I can say all those songs that I have created off of AI. I'm like, 20 years ago, if I would have played those, 30 years ago, 20, 30 years ago, they would have been received very well. They would have been like, holy cow, this is good music. Let's get this on air. But since we're so oversaturated, and what is listening to music today, right? You got Spotify, you got some sites out there that people listen to and download and listen to in their car. And but is the radio going to last? I mean, you feed yourself your own sound. That's what it is. I mean, you're going to want to listen to what you want to listen to. And going out in public and the music that you hear at the supermarket anymore, that's not, you know, banned music. That's all AI generated because it's all royalty free. Nobody's paying for this stuff. So with everything that's coming, you don't even notice that. You don't even notice when you're out and you're listening to music created by AI. But it's all royalty free. And who knows what company like supermarkets and stuff like that are just whittling out anything. They should just put in there, buy more oranges, buy more apples, put it to rock and roll, and play that over your intercom. You know, you don't have to pay anybody to do that. You got a machine right there that will generate everything for you. So, I see in 10 years, if you have a very expensive instrument, it's not going to be worth that much. It's just going to be collecting dust. People aren't going to be playing as much because, like I said, what did you play for back? You played to party and you played to get the chicks. Played to get the girls. That's what I always wanted. If I wanted to be a rock and had any imagination about being a rock and roll star when I was young, man, it was about, man, I'll have girls all over me. This will be awesome. I better learn how to kick out a few chords. Might get me laid, you know. That's what it was like. I mean, that's how I felt. And so learned a couple chords and wrote a couple songs. And every once in a while, you'll get a girl that will get squirrely on you about it, you know. But the whole thing is that even necessary anymore? Maybe now it's going to be the lyric guy, the lyricist that's going to be like the rock and roll star, the guy that really knows how to put words together. Because if you do listen to the AI, I'm changing it constantly. I'm scratching shit out. I'm moving the song around. I'm trying to figure out where it really all fits together so the listener can run into a smooth process and not get lost in like, what was that? Like, why did they repeat that twice? Or, whatever. It just runs smooth, and that's what you want. You want a good song that maybe has a message in there, a human message, and you put it out there for the people. You get it then because that's what I've been doing. I've just been taking my music, getting it copywritten, and then I'm going to be putting it on Spotify pretty soon here. And it's all my writings. It's all my poetry. So that's how I'm going to sell it. Pete's poetry in music, which is a song. Poetry to music is a song. And believe me, there is not a lyricist out there. There is not a lyricist out there. He don't care. He don't care how his words come out. If they stay on a piece of paper and he's trying to get them into some type of book. So at least they're going to be read, and maybe you could buy a hard copy of that. And then you could read his poems and his imagination. I got books, I made books out of my lyrics, out of my poems. And so that's all the lyrics. So now to be a poet or to be a lyricist, to know lyrics in this day and age, you're top notch. You're way up here. If you really know how to work a good song, a good poem, a good lyrics, that's how things are going to happen now. It's going to be the lyricist has won. The poet has won the music game. for now. For now, because AI is reading or learning from now the lyricist or the poet that is working within these songs right now. And I'm always changing. Maybe me and AI are working together, and we're trying to make this song. And I'm looking at the words, and I'm changing them up on it, and then we come out with the final product, and it's nice, it's smooth, and But you got to know how to work the words. But how long is that going to last? To where you feel like you got some type of edge on everybody else, because it is what it is, and that's the human element. I think is the only part of it that's going to survive, is the written part, because all humans have a story. We all have stories within a story. We know stories of other people. What I've been doing also is I've been going back into like poems of the 15th century, 16th, 17th century, and going through these poems that don't have a copyright. And I'm looking at these human made poems and rewriting them for today's age, and then giving them to AI for the music, and bam! Some of these songs are badass. And you know what? And it brings a sense of nostalgia, a sense of the past, like bringing the past alive. And for me, it's bringing some of like what these people of our ancestry, you know, had gone through. And now we can express what they were feeling in the most powerful form that words can be expressed. And that is through music. It's the most powerful form you can express words by far. By far. When I was just kicking around with being a poet and trying and a songwriter and trying to get my songs out there to get played, or because I mean we'd have a little garage band, hoping that maybe somebody will hear this and we can make it bigger, but it never happened. Never happened. But at least we were trying. But it took months, if not years, to develop. And for lyrics, I knew how to do lyrics. I know how to write, a poem or a lyric. I could do it. Easy smeezy Japanesey. Give me a day now. What takes me a day now would have taken me, 3 years, to finally get a product like I'm getting for my words that I'm writing, and to be putting to music. It's just for a lyricist. It's we couldn't be happier, because we don't have to work with the ego-driven musicians, that we had to in the past. And everybody thinks like, because of the when you're working within the music industry and you're working with musicians and you're a lyricist, they throw you under the bus. They're just kind of like, give us a song and then get out of here, kind of like that. And so you never really had you were just kind of like an outside figure. Maybe you had something good for them every once in a while. But the whole thing is the lyricist has won the AI game with music. There's hands down, if you know how to write a song, and if you're good with words, you got a good chance at least showcasing your talent for that. Otherwise, regular guitar, bass players, all that stuff, forget about it. They're done. They're done. They're done. If you're gonna want to play an instrument, you're doing it just because, I don't know, nostalgia, whatever. If you want to play the piano, it's just oh, is this what they used to do? Maybe I'll keep on playing. Or there's some organization, and you're gonna have to be good to like, if you want top notch, And that's all people are going to want. If they want to go out to see humans play, that's all they're going to want. You're going to have to be good. You're going to have to be like really good. Otherwise, people ain't going to they ain't going to care. People ain't going to care to see you. Just hit the hologram button. And I'll tell you, 10 years of that holograms, you'll be able to see Garcia, singing your songs. You'll be able to see, Sinatra singing your songs. Just for a little venue, people at a restaurant or a bar or wherever, or a smokehouse, I don't know, or a little outdoor, fair or something. Just hit the hologram button. And tonight we're featuring the lyrics of Joe Schmo. Oh, Joe Schmo's lyrics? Oh, he's a great poet. He's a great writer. I'm going to go listen to that. I'm going to go listen to his words. And in the end, nobody cared. Nobody really cared about who was playing or who was singing. I mean, it sounded good. And the music was good. But it was all about the words. It was all about those sounds. I mean, come on, man. It was all about Roxanne. You don't have to put on the red light. If that was just a song without Roxanne in there, it would have went nowhere. It's about the words. So anyway, how we get to, and you're going to get people that are really good with AI in music that could bring everything together there. Because, me, I'm not the greatest at technology. I mean, I could push a button. I could listen to the sound, see if I like it, look at the music, and maybe rearrange some stuff. But not like some of these guys. Some of these guys are really good at what they do with the AI and bringing the music together. But, home studios to where you're paying somebody to record your music anymore, they're out of business. They're done. Anything that I'll even tell you, when we went with the final product of Alino Ryan, that album, ended up in Chicago when I was working on it. And it was a big deal because it was being recorded on the studio board of where they recorded The Wall. So we were like, ooh, look at this. Recorded The Wall. Wow. Oh, boy. And it really didn't make a hell of beats. The album didn't go anywhere. You paid an arm and a leg to get this shit done. And it's like, it just, looking back at it all, it was just a big waste. It was just a big waste of time. I mean, you got a product, it never went anywhere, put a lot into it. Took us 3 years, right? 4 years to get 10, 11 songs done. It was just terrible. So, I mean, if you know how to play an instrument, I say keep on playing it, have fun, it's fun for your family, even a little, the fairs and stuff like that, they'll probably, humans will be on there still for a while, but it's going away. People are looking at it cheaply. I did a little music thing here where I live about 3 years ago. And I was like, all right, the town needs to have a little music here. Let's find where's the bands at? Where's the talent? So I found this band. There was about 2, 3 bands that we found, and just a bunch of little guys, that just string their guitar and get up there at a mic and sing their songs and do it up. But and I did it. I put it all together, got a stage. We had them on stage outside doing it. It cost me an arm and a leg, and the big thing is you got to pay. You got to pay for the sound system, the band, everything. It costs a lot of money, and it's a lot of hassle putting it all together. With the little hologram machine, you don't have everybody shows up on time. You don't need no sound system. Everything's already mastered. Grab a couple speakers, hit the button, have your fun. I don't know. Then you sit back and you watch the hologram. I think that's the way it's going to go. I don't think people are going to be interested in playing music like they once were. And if you do, it's going to be more folky. It's going to be more down to earth. It's going to be more community oriented. It's just going to be, but the garage bands go for the big corporate shows and all that stuff. I just don't see that hanging in there. It's just not going to remain. And in saying that, I just thought I'd give my 2 cents on the music industry today. I've been working with the songs. I'll put my latest down in the description. I haven't put it in there yet, but I will after I shut off the channel. And it's about when I met this. And what happened today is I got this message that I should look at my memories on Facebook. So I was like, all right, I'll open up my memories on Facebook. So it was 14 years ago. There was this memory on there about when I had been given a name by the Apache Indian. And I wrote about the ceremony, and stuff like that. And so I took the poem, converted it into lyrics, and then took those lyrics and made it a song. And I'll tell you what, it turned out really good. Another good song. And it's about, a human thing that happened to me. It's a true story about a human being having a human experience with this Apache uh, medicine keeper. And so I'll put it down there. You can give it a listen if you want uh, in the description. But I'm really happy with it. And I'm like, the lyrics, and that's what got me to thinking today. Like the lyrics, the guy that does the lyrics wins. If you know how to put together a song and you know how to work words, you're gonna you're gonna have some fun within the music AI because you're not dealing with people, you're not dealing with a-holes, you're not dealing with people that want to destroy your project. You're not dealing with big money manipulators and schemers. You just play your song, and that's all I ever wanted was just to hear my words in music. That's all I wanted. That's all. I never cared if I made a dime off of it. I just wanted to hear somebody good playing my lyrics. And now it's become so easy and it's so good that, I'm happy. I'm happy with how everything turned out. So is turning out. And so I'll put the song down there. You can give it a listen and have some fun. And so that's where we're at. And keep writing. That's all I got to say is right now, just keep writing. If you're a poet or if you got poems, try changing those poems over to lyrics. If you're having trouble changing them over to lyrics, get a little help from AI. It's still your words. It's still your story. And it's just somebody helping you, AI helping you form that story into a song. There's nothing wrong with that. Zero. Because that story is still being told in the form of music. and it's your story. And it's something when you listen, you can say, wow, that really reminds me of that day or whatever. And I really like that. So, and who knows, it could become a big hit, a big smash throughout the whole world. And you can make $100 off of it. And I'm not sure if anybody's making any money, but I'm sure there are. I'm not. But anyway, so keep on writing, keep on doing your music. And yeah, I still think people should play the guitar, but I think you'll see a lot of guitars just sitting in the closet. Give it another 6 years, they'll be like, "Yep, that's my dad's guitar. Never wanted to touch it. What am I gonna do? He was always playing in the bars and stuff. It ain't gonna happen." And then you're playing, we'll see what I mean. I shouldn't say it ain't ever gonna happen. I just look at the big picture. People are just changing their lifestyles. A lot is happening. A lot of change right now is coming at us within music, not only in music, but in writing, literature. AI has changed the world, and we're going to change with it. It's inevitable. So okay, that's it. Enjoy the evening. Thanks for stopping in, and as always, repent, repent, repent. Give all glory and honor to Hashem, and just be good to the people, and be kind to your neighbors, and keep writing music. Keep writing music, and keep playing if you're playing. If anything, for the hobby of it. But if you're trying to kick out a song, I'm sure you don't have to break your brain too much anymore. All right, enjoy. Thanks for stopping in, and later.